Ladies and gentlemen, what is common between the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren? Both the Chief Ministers are on Enforcement Directorate's radar, and both of them have decided not to attend the summons that have been sent to them. Not once, but several times. Both have collectively skipped 10 ED summons, calling them illegal, claiming that they are politically motivated. In fact, Arvind Kejriwal, who once claimed to fight corruption in politics, has skipped 3 summons over the Delhi Liquorgate probe. Hemant Soren has skipped 7 summons in the alleged illegal mining scam. The Enforcement Directorate is in fact all set to summon Arvind Kejriwal once again. Opposition parties such as the Aam Aadmi Party are questioning the lack of transparency in the way the ED functions, whereas the BJP says that the corrupt, by not complying with the institutions, are trying to evade arrest. While speculations of their arrest are doing the rounds, it is also clear that no chief minister enjoys immunity from arrest. In the eyes of the law, all citizens are seen as equal. Take a look at this report and then we begin the trending burning question. Well, in fact, before we play out that report, I'm given to understand our guests have already joined in from the JMM. Joining us is parliamentarian Mahua Maji. Representing the Bharatiya Janata Party would be Charu Pragya, and Akashdeep Muni is going to join us in a short while from now. But first, let me go across to Mahua Maji of the JMM. Ms. Maji, your leader, Hemant Soren, has been summoned not once but 7 times. Why do you think that your chief minister is above law? And if there is absolutely nothing to hide, why shouldn't the chief minister appear before the Enforcement Directorate and make his position clear?
देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात कि ईडी मानती हूँ कि कोई केंद्रीय जांच एजेंसी है, लेकिन जिन मामलों के बारे में उन्हें जांच के लिए बोला गया है उसके बारे में उन्होंने सारी बातें पहले ही वहाँ जमा कर दिया है। और उन्होंने अभी कहा कि 7th जो समन आया था उसमें उन्होंने लिखकर सारा जवाब भी भेज दिया है और उन्होंने उस समन को दफना भी दिया है। मतलब अब उस पर कोई पूछताछ हो ही नहीं सकती है। और आपने देखा होगा कि चुन चुनकर सिर्फ उन्हीं लोगों के पास समन्स जा रहे हैं ईडी के जो कि भाजपा में नहीं है। तो ये वो अपने काम से वो बिजी थे और वो नहीं जा पाए, लेकिन उन्होंने जवाब भेज दिया है 7th समन का। और अब उनका कहना है, जैसे कि कल उन्होंने मीटिंग में भी कहा, कि जो भी उनकी इंक्वायरी थी उसका जवाब सही उन्होंने दे दिया है। अब इसके आगे उस विषय पे उनसे पूछताछ करने को अब ईडी के पास कुछ भी नहीं है।
महुआ जी, आप ये कहते हैं कि जो लेटर चीफ मिनिस्टर हेमंत सोरेन ईडी को भेजते हैं उसमें उन्होंने साफ तरीके से उन्होंने कहा कि इस तरह से मीडिया ट्रायल हो रहा है। उन्होंने कहीं ये जवाब नहीं दिया कि इलीगल माइनिंग को लेकर उनके ही करीबी के कुछ लोगों को अरेस्ट किया गया। चीफ मिनिस्टर के कुछ ऐसे फाइल्स हैं जो प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल्स के घर से बरामद होती है। तो क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि जब सवाल उठेंगे मुख्यमंत्री को जवाब तो देना चाहिए, या ये कहना चाहिए कि देखिए ये मीडिया ट्रायल हो रहा तो मैं इसकी जवाब भी नहीं दूंगा?
देखिए, आप जिस फाइल्स की बात कर रहे हैं वो उनके जनप्रतिनिधि के पास वो मिला था, लेकिन वो चुनाव के समय की बातें थी। चुनाव के समय में कुछ साइन, चूँकि वो वहाँ पे चुनाव लड़ रहे थे तो बहुत सारे ऐसे काम होते हैं जिसमें कि उस तरह के फाइल्स रहते हैं। उसमें इलीगल कुछ भी नहीं था जिसके आधार पे उनको परेशान किया जाना चाहिए, और उन्हें ऐसा लगा था कि उन्हें परेशान किया जा रहा है, शायद इसीलिए वो नहीं गए होंगे, ऐसा लगता है लोगों को। और उन्होंने जवाब तो दे ही दिया है, 7वें समन का जवाब भी दे दिया है। और उन्होंने कल के मीटिंग में, जहां मैं भी उपस्थित थी, उन्होंने जितने भी विधायक हैं, हमारे माननीय विधायकगण, मंत्रीगण, उनके सामने कहा कि जो भी उनका सवाल था उसे वो दफन कर चुके हैं। अब उसमें कोई दोबारा सवाल भी नहीं हो सकता, समन भी नहीं हो सकता, और उस मैटर में उनके पास पूछने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं। तो इसको लेकर लोगों को प्रॉब्लम क्या है? कई लोगों बहुत
महुआ जी, ये तो ऐसा हो गया, चिट भी मेरी पट भी मेरी, ऐसा
के बारे में वो कह रहे थे कि उन्होंने 22 समन। जी देखिए, बात ये है,
देखिए सबसे पहले तो महुआ जी मुख्यमंत्री के ऊपर आरोप लग रहा है।
सवालों का जवाब दिया था उन्होंने, सवालों का जवाब ऑलरेडी दिया था।
मुख्यमंत्री ये आखिरी फैसला नहीं, महुआ जी ये आखिरी फैसला ये ना ही आप कर सकते, ना ही आपकी पार्टी कर सकती, ना ही ईडी कर सकती है। ये आखिरी इसके ऊपर फैसला सिर्फ कोर्ट ही कर सकती कि जो
सवाल उनके थे उसका जवाब वो ऑलरेडी दे चुके
ऊपर
हैं।
लगा है।
नहीं, जिस मैटर में मान लीजिए आपने चोरी नहीं की, आपको कोई कह रहा है कि आपने चोरी की है, अगर आपने साबित कर दिया, आपने सारे प्रूफ दे दिए कि आपने चोरी नहीं की है, फिर दोबारा आपको कोई कैसे आप पर आरोप लगा सकता है? जब उन्होंने सारे जवाब दे दिए हैं और उस मामले में कुछ कहने को है ही नहीं, तो फिर वो क्या करेंगे जाकर, और क्यों जाए भाई? उन्होंने लिख कर दे दिया है, देश में कानून भी है ना, वो कानून के तहत उन्होंने जवाब दिया है, इसलिए उनका कहना है कि इस मामले में पूछताछ नहीं होगी। और उस समन में साफ लिखा हुआ था कि दिस इज द लास्ट समन, अंतिम समन था वो, उसमें ऑलरेडी लिखा हुआ था, इसलिए उस बारे में फिर कोई बात ही नहीं और कोई डर की भी बात नहीं।
मैं इस पे विस्तार पे मैं आपको ये कहना चाहूंगा कि ये आखिरी समन नहीं था, ये कई सारे समन इस पे भेजा जा रहा था कि इससे पहले जितने समन थे उनके जवाब वो नहीं दे रहे थे। ये आखिरी समन के नोटिस जो भेजा गया था, उस नोटिस पे आपके मुख्यमंत्री ये कहते हैं कि देखिए, पहली बात तो आप पूरी तरह से जिस तरह से प्रोब कर रहे हैं वो निष्पक्ष नहीं है, जिसके कारण हम जुड़ेंगे नहीं। दूसरी बात यह है कि आप कहते हैं कि मीडिया ट्रायल है। जो भी है महुआ जी, मैं आपके पास वापस आऊंगा, पर पहले लेट मी ब्रेक इट। Charu Pragya of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Charu Pragya, you've heard what Mahua Maji of the JMM has to say. She's saying that, look here, all the questions have already been answered. There is no question why the Chief Minister should be responding. Similarly, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is saying that you need to first tell me whether I'm a witness, whether I'm a suspect. Now, with scant regard to the provisions as far as the PMLA Act is concerned, no one is going to tell you this beforehand, that whether you are a witness or a suspect is the prerogative of the agency. But as far as the BJP is concerned, the accusation that is again and again that is leveled against you, and in fact the Aam Aadmi Party also said today that why is it that your chief ministers of certain states who have been named in a few cases, they are never called for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate. Almost the entire list of people who have been called in for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate and the Central Bureau of Investigation only happen to be the opposition members.
Good evening, Soren. A law-abiding citizen, when served with summons, responds, and a criminal absconds. I don't know what is the commonality between these chief ministers and common criminals, but they have chosen to take the unlawful way. It's very easy to say that we've given all the answers, but it is not Mawaji who needs to be satisfied with the answers. The answers need to satisfy the investigative agencies. They are well within their rights to conduct investigations like they want. The Supreme Court has upheld that right, even though the opposition parties have gone to court also against these, these investigations that have been going on. Let's also remember that these opposition parties have been very comfortable and hand in gloves with each other, being, the kind of people who will siphon off money that actually belongs to the people. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
But Charu, you haven't answered my question.
No more. But now no more. Now we have.
But Charu, you haven't answered my question. The opposition parties are saying that you are becoming like the washing machine. Whoever joins your party is not again called in for questioning. Even from the Trinamool Congress, when Charu, you're not answering my question.
I'm coming to that.
The question that I asked you.
10 more seconds. Yeah, I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
Shravan, there's a lag in our conversation. So let me finish saying this. So there have been numerous occasions when BJP leaders have been raided, have been served notices, they have cases going on against them, and you have to be responsible for your actions. You don't get off scot-free because of your political ideology, and that has been established many times. Many leaders in Uttar Pradesh, many in Madhya Pradesh, in Maharashtra, they've all been raided, they've been served notices, and these cases are going on. But you know something, when they accuse the ED of going over and above what is needed of them, when they accuse the ED of saying that they work for the government, let me remind them that ED is not one person. It's lakhs of people who work for this very, very elite organization, and they will continue to work. Your governments will change. Central government could change. But the ED is going to remain there. The organization is responsible and answerable for every little bit they write on every piece of paper, which is later submitted to court. So when someone does not get a bail for over a year from the Supreme Court of this country also, then you have to understand that what the investigative agencies are putting forth as their evidence is correct.
Okay. Akashdeep Muni, one would have certainly expected a little better from Arvind Kejriwal. After all, he also happens to be an former IRS officer. He would have been well versed with at least the provisions in the law. As far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, in the letter that he has written, it is laughable to say the least when the Chief Minister is saying that, tell me, am I a witness, am I a suspect? Only then will I come to you for any sort of further examination. And if the Chief Minister believes that there is nothing wrong, and more importantly, the Enforcement Directorate has never at any point in time said that, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, you are an accused in this particular case. All that the Enforcement Directorate is saying that you have been given an opportunity to explain your position on this matter. There are allegations that have been leveled against you. They are not saying that this has been proven as yet. So what stops the Chief Minister from at least attending? The same very Chief Minister who at some point in time said that even if there is an allegation against any political representative, they should even step down. Forget about stepping down, he's not even cooperating with the investigative agency.
Shravanji, I am unable to understand, why aren't we seeing what is in front of us? Are we closing our eyes or are we putting blinkers? Are we deliberately doing it? I'm unable to understand. The point I'm making is that PMLA is a very stringent law which is brought in to stop money laundering and corruption and narcotics. You put 95% of PMLA cases against opposition leaders and the conviction rate is not even 0.1%. It is astonishing. And today, you have a person called Chhagan Bhujbal.
I will have to stop you here. I will have to stop you here. You're giving the wrong facts.
Who was in jail for 2 years.
The agency has given their numbers and it has been given on the floor of the House. No, Mr. Muni, you cannot give these wrong numbers. The conviction rate is well above 95%.
Because Bharatiya Janata Party was slapped him with...
Shravan, he needs to be stopped because he's misquoting information.
Okay, Akashdeep Puni, I'll just take you through. Now, Akashdeep, you ought to hear me out. I don't have a problem, you can continue. But only, I need to interrupt you only when you're factually incorrect. You're factually incorrect. Now, I'll just put out some data that you have, because you yourself started with the data, so let's begin the data war. As far as the Enforcement Directorate is concerned and its conviction rate is concerned, it is almost 93% in money laundering cases. Okay, one more thing. No, you have to understand one thing. You know, the PMLA courts, the conviction rate, also please understand, there are two aspects to it. There are two aspects.
Let the world watch.
No, one second. Akashdeep Puni, there is nothing to get agitated about. The only reason why you have been interrupted here is one. Factually incorrect. One second, Akash. तो आप मतलब गलत बोलेंगे तो भी मैं कुछ ना बोलूं.
नहीं आप मुझे बोल दी आप क्वेश्चन पूछिए उसके बाद 15 सेकंड
that's unfair.
You are lying on national television.
It is my duty. It is my duty as an anchor not to let factually incorrect statements to be passed off as facts. Akashdeep, the only reason you may get agitated, you said 0.1% or even less than that as the conviction rate. I don't know where did you get the data from. As far as published data that I have in my possession, the conviction rate of the Enforcement Directorate stands at 93%. Now, how did they come to this particular data? I can explain that to you also. Now, there is a difference between the conviction rate of an NIA versus the CBI versus the Enforcement Directorate. Now, you can continue.
With your permission, I'm going ahead. I want to cite that ED slapped PMLA against an opposition leader and put that particular opposition leader for 2 years behind bars. The opposition leader came out and joined Bharatiya Janata Party. And today, the ED goes to the court and said that we don't have a case against him. That is Chhagan Bhujbal.
No. 1 minute. First of all, you are not answering any questions raised to you about Aam Aadmi Party. Soren, can I come in, please?
Chief Minister, how all the cases against Hemant Abhishek?
Soren, can I come in? Why don't you explain the reason why your ministers have not been given in? Why don't you explain?
Akashdeep, I do understand where it is. Okay, Akashdeep, hold on. There's no need.
You tell
Akashdeep,
that why
understand one thing.
Aam Aadmi
Akashdeep
Party
and Charu
leaders are
Pragya,
not-
just hold back. 1 minute. Akashdeep, there is no need to be so agitated. I do understand that as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, he has the right to defend himself, and if he chooses, if his lawyers are essentially trying to tell him that these summons are illegal, so be it. But the fact of the matter is that as an anchor, it's my duty to at least put out the facts for everyone. Let me just quickly also take in a word from Mahua Maji of the JMM. Mahua ji, ek minute, Akashdeep, allow me to, Akashdeep, I'm not saying that Arvind Kejriwal does not. The other option is that if he essentially believes that these are politically motivated summons, he does have the option of knocking at the doors of the court. In fact, that is exactly the same route that was actually taken by Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. Hemant Soren did actually move the court.
Tell me, if Hemant Soren tomorrow joins Bharatiya Janata Party, then BJP will not drop down all the cases.
Hypothetical, no, that's a question that you ask. Okay, Akashdeep Puni, you asked that question to the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson. Now, Ms. Charu Pragya, why don't you say that which washing machine, your washing machine seems to be the best in the market? Because according to Akashdeep Puni, whoever goes to your washing machine, everyone comes squeaky clean. In fact, the detergent companies will have to give up.
Please notice, Shravan, how Akashdeep would rather talk about every other person in the world except on the very pointed allegations and questions that we are posing to CM Kejriwal ji. He's not chosen to address that. As for the others, investigations are going on. I'm not a spokesperson for ED or CBI, and they will come up and they will give you whatever they find. But let's see one thing. Look at the complication that has arisen in the INDI alliance today, Shravan. Don't speak over me, Akashdeep. I can't hear it.
We don't know.
Akashdeep,
it's very interesting. The Congress Party. Okay. On a lighter note, Akashdeep. On a lighter note, this is exactly the same. No, one second, Akashdeep. The thought that you even have, that the 1 minute. Okay, one second. Charu.
So here, JMM is supporting people जिनके cupboards में से 500 करोड़ रुपए नगद निकल कर आता है, bundle after bundle of cash, and then they sit on a high horse and say we are not corrupt, but you are friends with those who are. You form alliances with those.
Mahua Maji wants to respond. Mahua Maji wants to respond.
But they cannot.
मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूँ कि अभी जो एलिगेशन लगाया गया है 500 करोड़
Mahua wants to come in.
अभी
Mahua
जो 500
जी,
करोड़ का
आप चारू
एलिगेशन
प्रज्ञा
लगाया
के
गया
जवाब
है,
देने से पहले Mahua जी एक सवाल करना चाहूंगा, उसके बाद आप जवाब दीजिए एंड उसके बाद डिबेट एंड करते हैं। सवाल ये उठता है कि अगर आप 7 समन्स भेजने के बाद ये कहते कि देखिए भाई साहब, हमारे पास तो हमारे ऊपर कोई सवाल नहीं उठता है। सबसे पहली बात तो उस नोटिस में कोई जवाब देते, जो आरोप लगे उसके ऊपर जवाब नहीं है। महुआ जी, पता नहीं आपको क्या बताया गया है उस पूरे मीटिंग में। जहां तक मेरी जानकारी है, अब तक
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री
हेमंत सोरेन जी ने आज तक उन्होंने जो आरोप लगे उन पे कोई जवाब नहीं दिया है। महुआ जी,
आपको मैंने नहीं जवाब दिया है, और उन्होंने एक बात कही थी कि राजनीति से प्रेरित लगती है आपके समन, और वो साबित भी हो गया कि जिस दिन माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने अपने गठबंधन के विधायकों का जब सबको बुलाया मीटिंग के लिए, उसी डेट पे उनके जो खास जो प्रेस सलाहकार है उनके घर पे ईडी का रेड होना। अब टाइमिंग देखिए एक बार कि किस तरह से राजनीति से प्रेरित लगती हैं चीजें। लोग क्यों आरोप लगाते हैं कि ये जो रेड हुआ ये आगे भी हो सकता था, पहले भी हो सकता था, बाद में भी, बस उसी समय जिस दिन वो मीटिंग कॉल की गई उसी दिन रेड होना कहीं ना कहीं से साबित करता है कि सब कुछ राजनीति से प्रेरित है, जैसा कि हमारे सीएम ने ये आरोप लगाया था अपने लेटर पे, अपने बयान में। और दूसरी बात, जहां अभी अपने कहा चारू जी ने कि 500 करोड़ का घोटाला, वो मैं बता दूं कि वो सबसे बड़े लिकर कारोबारी हैं, उनका किसी पार्टी से कोई मतलब नहीं है, भले ही वो कांग्रेस के हैं, लेकिन इससे कांग्रेस पार्टी को भी कोई मतलब इसलिए नहीं है कि अगर आपको पता होगा तो आप जानेंगे कि पूरे झारखंड में, बिहार में, उड़ीसा में, छत्तीसगढ़ में ये इनका जो कारोबार है ना 3-3 जनरेशन में है। और जैसा कि मैंने सुना है कि 1947 में जब देश आजाद हुआ था तो इनके पिता ने 47 केजी गोल्ड दिया था सरकार को, केंद्र सरकार को, और 47 लाख रुपीस उस समय 1947 में उन्होंने सरकार को दिया था, केंद्र सरकार को।
महुआ जी, इससे थोड़ी ये हो जाती है कि कांग्रेस के जो वो नेता की आप बात कर रहे हैं,
ये उनकी बात है, मैं इसको सपोर्ट नहीं करती, नहीं, मैं सपोर्ट नहीं करती, मैं ऐसा नहीं कहती कि उन्होंने सही किया, उन्हें सरकार को टैक्स देना चाहिए था, लेकिन ये आरोप लगाना अभी
Thank you very much. Okay, Akashdeep, don't worry. You don't have to. You can keep fact checking me, but I can assure you one thing, Akashdeep Pune. I do come prepared with my data. I'm not saying it. Go to the Ministry of Finance website. You will get the reply that was given by the government in terms of the data. And outside the debate, I will explain how they came to that. I'll explain it to you. Don't worry. I'll explain that to you. Charu Pragya, thank you very much. Mahua Maji and Akashdeep Muni for joining us. Don't worry. I will explain it to you. Don't worry. I will surely come back to you and I'll explain how did they finally come to that conviction rate. Thank you very much for joining us on the trending burning question.